Okay, we're staying with the theme of the last trim. Today is the middle of October. It's going to start to cool down, so hopefully these will quit growing so vigorously. I'm going to get it just cleaned up and no styling at this point. We just want to clean it up so that it's presentable for the holidays. If you've been watching my nursery tour, that I have a whole lot of these to do. So I'll just go ahead and finish it up and I'll let you take a look at it. Okay, now this chapter is going to be two-parter. After I get done with this, I'll put it back on the bench and bring another two that are in need of pruning just as badly as these two. Okay, this one's done. It's got a really nice line in there. Nice soft curvature. This will be very close to being a formal upright, but it can't be because there is a slight curve in it. I think the front is coming around the corner. Yes, I think this is it. I think this is the better side. Okay, here is the second one. I think now we're looking at the back side, although this doesn't look bad either. But here it comes. This is the front, I believe. Okay, these are the first two of four that I'm going to be doing. So I'll go put these back on the bench and grab a couple more. These are all wild olives that we dug out around here. So I grabbed a couple more of these olives that need to be trimmed for the holidays. So let's take a close look at this one here. Mostly it's the sucker growth and a few up on top that took off. Okay, this one here is bigger. Basically the same problem. You know, olives like the heat, and we've had plenty of heat till yesterday. Today's supposed to start cooling down, and if we're lucky, we might even get some rain. We're in a fairly deep drought situation. We need as much rain as we can get. But anyway, I'll go ahead and trim both of this and I'll show you the results. I figure you don't really need to see me doing every step because you've seen it before. Okay, this one is done. Once cleaned up, look at this massive trunk. One thing about letting those suckers grow, it really starts to fatten that area. Now, if this was ready for show, I would have to take almost all those little greens off. But just shortening them, they'll repop in the spring. So it'll really start to fatten this trunk even more. Okay, now this one here, I think it could use a nice, smaller bonsai pot. This is still in the mica, but olives could be in a very small container and still thrive. So I'm thinking that somebody should put this in a smaller ceramic container and have a showstopper. I think this is probably the front. It's looking good now. Just trimming and cleaning made a world of difference. This one here, you can see the massive trunk. Yeah, those sucker growth, they add girth to this area rapidly. So every so often cut them off. If you don't want it to come back like this, you should cut all those little green leaves off. But if you leave it like this, they'll come back in the spring multiple times, and then this area would fatten. So this one too, I think, could use a nice ceramic container. It's not to say I have them ready to go. It's really getting hard to get some of the supplies that I need. The bonsai pot being the main concern at this point. Nice, perfect line, movement and taper. One of the things that I want to emphasize here is that your pruning style or the intensity how you prune has to be varied by the seasons. So we're at the tail end of the growth season, so it should be light. As we get into the spring, then we could cut back, and a lot of times we'll thin it out so it will accommodate the year's growth. So I noticed some of my students, they have only one technique. They keep pruning the same way every time. But hopefully you've realized that you have to vary your pruning technique based on the time of the year and what you're trying to accomplish. So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter. So these have been the 4 wild olives. And if you looked at my garden tour or the nursery tour, you saw these all on one bench. So anyway, if you do come by, I'm in Northern California. If you Google bonsai nurseries in Northern California, there's only a few of us, so we'll pop up. Anyway, we'll see you again real soon in another chapter.